Hi everybody, Darren here with an update on our Tuscan house renovation. First off, apologies for the clickbaity title. Things are not that bad. There's a bit of a story behind it, which I will share. First, let me give some background. If this is the first time you're catching one of my videos, about a year ago my wife and I bought a semi-ruin in northern Tuscany. The house needs a lot of work. The roof is caving in, windows and doors need to be replaced. It has no running water, electricity. It's basically a stone shell on a hillside. But it has an amazing view. And every time I see this view, I fall in love again. So that's our house. Just to give you some updates, nothing too huge. We don't have builders on site, construction hasn't started, but we have a bunch of small updates that I'm going to share. First thing, so in October of this past year, we went down again to visit the house and do a bunch of other things. My dad came out to visit, which was great. He's started helping us on this project, which is fantastic. He has experience with renovating buildings. So he flew out, we all met, went up to the house. It is still standing, fortunately. The roof is caved in a little bit more than it was last time, but not dramatically worse, thankfully. So that was good to see. We also had two builders up to take a look at the house to assess their interest of the project, kind of pick their brains a little bit. A few really good things. They're interested in our house and doing the work, which is great. One of the builders did our neighbor's house, which is beautiful. Another builder has done several projects for a really good friend of ours. So both of them really highly recommended. We've loved seeing both of their work. So that's a major plus. Don't know cost, anything like that. I'll get to the 200,000 in a moment. Yes, the other thing, we opened up an Italian bank account. So this was a really important step because we needed the account for several things: to pay our Italian taxes. We paid property tax last year, about 200 euro. Our house is not worth that much, so our property taxes are pretty low, for better or worse. We also needed for some of the government bonuses they have for reconstruction. A little bit on that. We'll be lucky if we get some of them. They changed a bunch of the rules and we probably won't qualify, which is a shame because this was tens of thousands of euro that we were hoping to get reimbursed. We don't need that though, thankfully. It would be great if we could get it, but it's not a requirement. If you're doing a project where you do need those government benefits, I would be a little careful because they can be tough to get. They change the rules fairly often. If your real estate agent says, oh no, government will pay for all this, yeah, that's a bit of a concern area. So definitely try to get them. We have friends that have gotten reimbursed quite a lot of money for a project, so you can get them, just definitely don't depend on them. One other thing, this will be useful for Americans watching this, getting an Italian bank account, or basically getting a bank account anywhere but the US, can be a real hassle as an American. The US government has lots of rules around money laundering, tax evasion, things like that. So it took us literally hours for the bank to set up an account, do all the proper paperwork and so on. It's a bit of a nightmare. Thankfully in Tessa, Sao Paulo, great people there. They have an office in Barga. They spoke pretty solid English, super patient with us. Really, really highly recommend them. I owe them a bottle of wine. A lot of banks, a number of banks we talked to, when they found out we were American, they just said they don't work with Americans. So a little bit of a learning lesson for us. We also got a local cell phone plan, which is amazingly good, and €8 a month. It's insane. I wish they were that good in the US and Germany. Whatever, such is life. Floorplan. So a little bit update on that. It hasn't changed too much from the video that I shared before. We have pretty much nailed down what we want to do. So super quickly, kitchen on the cellar, open out on the terrace. You can cook your meal, eat outside, enjoy the view. Middle floor, living room, little lounge, and a small bathroom. Top floor is master bedroom, guest bedroom, and a master bathroom. We debated doing an ensuite, but because the center wall of the house is original and we didn't want to mess with it, either we'd end up with a small ensuite carving out of the main bedroom, or we'd have to chop up the wall, which just sounded really complicated, had structural issues, so it's not an ensuite. Now, 200,000 euro. Where did that come from? So one of the major steps that we have in the house is to get a structural engineer to take a look at everything. This person will assess the walls, the floors. They will take a look at the structural work that was done by the previous owner and basically see what additional work needs to be done. And as part of that work, we've had an engineer up to take a look at it, and he gave us a quote for what it'll cost for all of his work. His quote is partly based on what the overall cost of the major structural work he expects to have happen. So that's the roof, any kind of reinforcing in doors and windows and things like that. So we got an email with his quote, and it had an estimated cost of this structural work for 200,000 euro. $200,000 euro is a lot of money. Thankfully, there was a bit of a snafu with the paperwork. So there's a house that's not too far from ours, which is beautiful. It has an amazing view, better than ours, in my opinion, and will be a real gem when it's complete. But it is structurally problematic. Here's a photo I took. We actually toured it when we were taking a look at houses. If you look closer, you can see scaffolding in the inside. That is so the thing doesn't collapse. So it needs a lot of work. Well, what happened was the same structural engineer that's looking at our house was also looking at that one, and the two quotes kind of got combined. So that one is about 150, and ours, thankfully, is 50,000, which is not nothing. Don't get me wrong. We saw that quote, we were like, well, that's better than 200, but it's still a lot of money. That's also not a builder quote, so it could be more, it could be less. We'll see. We're getting a little more firm around what this thing may cost us. We'll see. I'll definitely share more. So real quick to summarize the next steps that we're looking at. So we'll sign with the engineer. He'll do all of his review. He'll submit those to the Comune. We will also finalize our plans with our architect. He will also submit those to the Comune. We will submit them to builders. Builders will send us bids for what they think things will cost and timelines and so on. We choose one of those, and fingers crossed, we start renovation. There is a chance we start renovation in the spring. One fun thing, so we've been chatting with friends, we've had a number of people reach out to us online that are doing similar projects, and we've been doing an informal contest about when people think this house will be livable. And when I say livable, I mean you can stay overnight, you can use the bathroom, there's running water, there's electricity, we have a kitchen, but not finished. If you want to join in, put your estimate for when you think this house will be livable. Put it in the comments, and whomever is closest, I will send you something from our little piece of Tuscany. Maybe that's wine, maybe it's some olive oil. It's really, really good there, but it'll be something. Put your guess in the comments, and until then, here is a couple clips of my pets, and everybody stay healthy, stay safe, and I look forward to bringing you the next big update. Have a good one, everybody. This is her favorite spot. She likes getting up here and then lording over all of us. You drop your toy? Oh.